Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another session on the Global AgriFood TechPreneur Programme. We're looking at the 6-week interactive section covering food system sustainability, tech, and entrepreneurship. So, what is your value proposition? How do you define the value that you provide your customers or whoever is going to engage with your business? How do you define that value to them? Your value proposition is actually what benefit the user is going to derive from using your solution. So to define your value proposition, there are a number of things you have to juggle with. You have to look at, what problem is it that you're trying to solve? What are the users' need? And what are their wants? And how do you see through those needs, wants, and problems to be able to identify exactly what you are offering your customer? What exactly does your customer really need? That's a burning question that will be in your mind when you're trying to define your value proposition. You need to really be able to establish the benefit your solution provides for your customer. And unless you understand the pain point, and the biggest challenge, then it will be very difficult to establish their need. So you really need to get through and go through the problem in very detail, and then be able to see through the need and the want to establish the exact need that the customer has got, and ensure that the solution you provide is not just a painkiller, but something that is very important for the survival of the customer that you are looking to work with, because that really eases your engagement and also the interest and traction that you get from that customer. So to understand your customer, you need to understand how big is this problem to them. And you can't understand that without necessarily engaging with the customer to understand how big is the problem for them. You need to understand what is the best way to engage with the people. Once you've understood the problem, well, while you're trying to understand the problem, you need to engage with them. And once you've understood the problem, you need to understand how you can introduce your product to them, and also be able to explain to them how the product is helping them to solve that problem. You also need to understand how many people does this problem affect. How big is the market? So this is where you have to look into the total addressable market, and also try to understand what is the market within this total addressable market that and what you're doing, your produce can actually help to address the problem within that particular market. And this is where mostly you have to start off from a beachhead market, which is smallest market that's very close to the key benefit of your solution. But you can't do that without actually having to go through a thorough customer segmentation and market segmentation to be able to identify how big this market is and where you need to start from within this market. You also need to understand how the people are affected by the problem within that particular market segment, because then that's one way you could be able to engage them in more meaningful way with the product you have after you've actually engaged with them initially to understand their problem. So it's kind of a step-by-step process where, yes, boom, you've got the app, you've got that solution, which is fantastic, but you need to get to understand better how that solution you think you have is beneficial to the customer who is going to be using that product. So once you've been able to have this fair understanding of what exactly my solution is going to benefit this market, one of the things you need to do is to validate. So you sort of go through that validation process or speaking to a number of similar persona. So we call it customer persona, where you have people with some similar feature engaging with them and establishing that yes, this is the market that we are working on. So it goes through this process of having to do the customer discovery, engaging with initial potential customers, identifying where the real need is, identifying how your solution is solving that problem, and then trying to validate that yes, this is really the market I want to work in, and it's a big enough market for me to work in, and my solution can actually deliver value for this market. And then you move on to customer creation and then establishing your company. And for some of us, we already set up the company, but for those of us who are going to set up a company, this is usually the process you go through to have the conviction to set up your company. And if you've gone ahead to set up the company without going through this process, it's a worthwhile effort to take some step back, go through this customer validation process, customer discovery process, so that you can, establish loyal customers who engage with the produce. So part of what we've done as part of engagement with the program, the Global AgriFood TechPreneur Programme, is access to the Waffle Tracker platform. This is part of the key values we believe as intelligence we can bring to what you do, and really ease this whole complex navigation of customer engagement for you, because we've set up the Waffle Tracker platform as a multi-stakeholder online platform where we have different stakeholders within the food system, being placed together, and we creating value for everyone within the chain to be able to engage with other stakeholders within the food system. So we have, the food retailers, the hotels and restaurants, the food producers. We have the supply chain in terms of the equipment suppliers, the seed suppliers, all working together to establish a sustainable food system. So whatever aspect you're coming from within the food system, you could have a place to contribute on the Waffle Tracker, and you have potential users who could use the solution that you have. And I would encourage us to take the time to go to www.waffletracker.com, sign up for the access to the platform depending on what your business is doing. So if you're an equipment stroke material supplier, you can sign up as that. If you're into the food production, you can sign up for that. And if you are we do have the household stroke individual account, which I'll encourage everyone who is into food production to sign up for the account, to be able to engage with the platform, to see how users and customers who use the platform, and also how you as a business could benefit from the platform, and be able to engage with the wider food system on the platform. So one of the key things to do is to be able to have, like I do access to everyone, whenever we come into these sessions, and we go into the breakout rooms, you need to be comfortable with introducing what you do, and being able to help people understand what you do. So this is something that will always come up as a business leader, that when you meet people, they want to know, what do you do? And in a very nutshell, you could be able to sell your value proposition to them. So crafting that value proposition also requires a lot of effort. And this is an example of a value proposition for the Waffle Tracker. It says, for households or individuals who struggle to eat balanced diet, our product is a multi-stakeholder online platform that automates meal planning, shopping, kitchen inventory to ease eating at home and eating out, while providing metrics on your nutritional consumption. It's very, very easy for someone to really take on and understand what the platform is doing from the household to individual perspective. If I'm talking to a farm producer, a producer like a farmer, also the value proposition is different. If I'm talking to an equipment stroke machinery supplier, the value proposition is different. If I'm speaking to a consultant on the platform, the value proposition is different. And this is how we can evolve and craft our value proposition, and we can also practice it during the breakout sessions and continue to improve on it so that it's easier for us to communicate what we do to other people. Because what we do varies. Even if we're producing local produce, the way we go about doing that, what exactly we mean for doing that, we resonate with people differently. So being able to craft that into a message that we can reach out to people. It might be that all you want to do is to make sure that the food you produce reaches your local market and your local community. It might be that you as an organization want to grow into a big multinational company that's delivering value across the world. So you as a business owner know exactly what you're trying to do, and crafting a value proposition that help you to engage with your market is very important. So we have the next case study, which will across to you. These are the reflection questions. What was Aldin set up? What was driver for the founders of Aldin? Did they understand their business and customer? What challenges did they encounter, and what could they have done differently? So I'm looking forward to a very exciting discussion in the next session, which we hold next week, Monday. More importantly, we need to remind ourselves about what we're doing. The global state of the food system is being challenged at the moment. We need to do all we can to ensure that we evolve a sustainable food system, that we can reduce the level of malnutrition, that more people can have access to good food, and we can reduce food waste. Most of the case studies we'll talk about, all of them talk about food waste. They talk about dealing with food waste within their process. We need to address food waste challenge. We need to improve access to good food to more people, and we need to do it as quickly as possible to prevent wider systemic challenges. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So when we plan, we save food, we save our health, we save environment, and we save health. To be able to ensure that we address most of the SDG by 2030, we need to expedite action. And I really appreciate your effort and what you're doing within the food system. And we are here to support you. We're here to work with you and to make sure that we can provide more people with access to good food. Thank you very much.